Greetings and salutations everyone, I am as always darthdevious, bringing you another video review, this time the one you guys voted for. The first one out of the 7 that I'll be doing in the next few weeks. Dreadwing from Transformers Prime, Voyager class. And initial thoughts, I like his robot mode. This I'm not so crazy about. It has a lot of problems. I mean, rubber wings aside, this still has a lot of problems. It doesn't exactly hold together very well. The wings don't really peg into anything, and they have a tendency to pop up here. You know, and then there's this right here. The infamous undercarriage of this guy. Yeah, he's kind of kibble-tastic on the bottom, you could say. He's got a nice landing gear here. Doesn't roll or anything, but it's molded in. Nice clear cockpit, things like that. Engine thruster at the back, hands sticking out quite clearly. Now, I know, it's a Voyager class. You would think they'd be able to hide some of the kibble a little bit better on a Voyager class. I mean, look. The Commander class. Same character. Far less junk hanging off of it. You can argue that his legs are part of the fuselage and the arms on this one. Just, it's not this. And look. Basically, you have the top half of a plane and the bottom half legs. So, that's a complaint. That is a legitimate complaint. I mean, if you can get a figure like this streamlined, and this is small. I expect a lot of kibble on a Cyberverse figure, because there's only so much you can do. On a Voyager, you got to try a little harder, I think. And it's a shame, because his robot mode is outstanding, and it's weighed down by this plane mode, though. Most of us as collectors, we're going to leave him in robot mode anyway, so. Now he's got weapons. He's got his gimmick weapon here. His, if it was locked in this position like this, wouldn't be too bad. I'm actually going to take the spring out once this review's done. And using this hole here, I'm going to build a handle so that he can hold it underslung. You see, it does have the light. Now his, actually, the light will actually go through to the barrel, which is a shocker. Most of the others don't. But on this one, his light doesn't always shut off. As you can see there, I just touched it briefly and it came on. It's still on, still on. I'm going to just take the batteries out completely because it's just a waste. What a waste. I threw it and the light came on. His sword, on the other hand, despite being just plain gray, is just awesome. It's a nice hard plastic, so it's not rubbery like some of the other swords we've gotten with some figures. And this just looks good in his robot mode. Really, there's nowhere for it on plain mode. I mean, yeah, he's got ports, but really, are you going to have a sword hanging off a plane? No. This thing can plug here too. Why? I don't know. I don't think I would want to be a plane flying around with a skyscraper on my back. Right. Okay. I'm going to turn him into a robot. And then we'll take a look at his robot mode and see some of the things they got right. So I will be right with you. Okay, here's Dreadwing in his robot mode, and as I said, I like his robot mode. It's very nice. It seems all the engineering went into this mode, and the plain mode was almost an afterthought. He's beefy, he's big, he's powerful looking. There are still some problems, which I will address, but for now we'll just take a look at him real quick. You can see how cool he is. He's got a jet backpack there. Wings folded down back behind him a little bit. His arms are a little weird because of how they hinge here. But you still get nice movement, and the shoulder pads easily move out of the way. He's got a nice swivel here. Swivel in his wrist. Decent elbow. I'm not touching his head yet. There's a reason for that. Ball joints on his hips. He does have limited thigh swivel. It's limited. It only moves a few inches. He's got a nice knee. And he's got a little bit of pivot in his foot. Not too bad. Now, issues with this mode. The little wing flaps back here, you see, they're very loose. They just fall easily. I've already got stress marks forming around these little winglets here because they're just plugged into little swivel joints. And I'm starting to get stress marks just from transforming him. Right in here. I don't know if you can see them. But there is that. So you want to be careful with that. Now, the biggest problem with this mode is his head. Let's see if we can get it close up here. You can see his face there. It's a nice face. Problem is, his entire head is made out of soft rubber, except for his eyes and the light piping. And I'm not going to be moving his head because I've already heard some ominous cracking moving it. But Optibottom has pointed out as well, you can break the eyes off just simply from moving his head. And it's pretty bad. You can see there on the back of his head, the clear light piping part and the ball joint and his neck are right in the clear light piping part. But the rest of his head is nothing but a piece of rubber. I don't know what Hasbro was thinking. I honestly don't. Seriously. They could have done a little bit better on that. So you got to be careful with his head. That's a warning part right there. Be careful with his head. Be careful with these little pieces down here because you could get some fracturing there. As you can see, he's a little back heavy. He wants to kind of roll backwards a little bit. His ankles really won't move up any farther, so kind of got to hunch him forward a little bit, which is okay. He kind of looks good that way. Now you can see he got his sword here. You can store his sword on his back, like in the show, if you want to. Give you a peg for that. And he holds it really nicely. So you can do that. And get some nice poses with him and his sword. You can give him his crap gun, but like I said, until I remove the spring, he is not going to be using this. This is just... I hate these. I hate these with a passion. Hated the one that came with Optimus Prime. Don't like the one that came with Starscream. His is one of the best, simply because when it's in extended mode, it actually looks like what it's supposed to. And it can easily be modified where he can hold this little nub here with one hand, and if you build another handle here, he can hold it like he does on the show, underslung. But until you do something like that and actually get in and modify it, it's a piece of junk. And yeah, the lights still won't go off. So that's out of here. Give you a quick size comparison. Here he is with his boss, Megatron. You can see Megatron's just a shade taller, which is good because that's Megatron's supposed to be the biggest Decepticon. But they do look good together, I will give them that. Yeah. So, do I recommend Dreadwing if you can find him? I do, if you want him for the robot mode. I can't recommend him for his plane mode. Plane mode is horrible. Sorry, gotta say it that way. It's horrible. This mode, outstanding other than the head. Be careful with the head. Big time. Can't stress that enough. Be careful with his head. Still, I am glad to have him because I had very few Decepticons going into this. And they needed some backup. So, that's it. I really don't have much else to say. I like this guy a lot. Plane mode needs a lot of work. This mode isn't bad. It could use a couple paint details, which I'll probably add at some point in time. But other than that, there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, you guys, I'm talking to you out there. Be good. I'll send this big blue meanie to come get you. Later.